Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, the Honorable Mr. Hasan Halawi MBD, as a lecturer in Semantics and Pragmatics, and all my fellow friends. My name Linda Fitri Novia. I will deliver material about invisible meaning, context, and Deixis. Invisible meaning, according to Charles Sanders Peirce, 1839, an American philosopher and semiotician, introduced the concept of semiotics, which studies signs and their interpretations. He explored the distinction between the signifier, and reference, emphasizing the interpretive nature of invisible meaning. Based on the meaning of each word in the sign, the meaning of all the signs where the sign is found, or physical context, knowledge of the word, or epistemic context. For example, the use of the word anjing in Indonesian, literally the word refers to pets, but in some contexts and cultures, the word can be used as a harsh or derogatory word. The use of this word in the right situation can contain or indirect or hidden meaning, such as anger, disapproval, or criticism. And next is context. Context, according to Charles Sanders Peirce, 1839, an American philosopher and semiotician, introduced the concept of indexicality to describe how meaning is dependent on the context in which signs are used. Indexical signs refer to objects or events based on their contextual relationship. There are different types of context that can influence the meaning of language. The number one is linguistic context. This refers to the word and phrases that come before or after a particular words or expressions, and that can affect its interpretation. Number two is situational context. Situational context, this refers to the physical or social situation in which language is used. For example, the phrase "I am freezing" can mean that someone is feeling very cold in a literal sense, or that they are expressing intense discomfort in a social situation. Number three is cultural context. This refers to the cultural norms, values, beliefs, and practice that shape in the meaning of language. For example, the phrase "Deixis" can mean that something is cool or impressive in some youth subcultures, but it can also mean that something is disgusting or disturbing in other contexts. And then Deixis. Deixis, according to Yule 1996, defines that Deixis is a form of designation that is tied to the context of the speakers. With the most basic meaning, Deixis is a linguistic term used in semantics to refer to phenomena in which the interpretation of certain words or phrases depends on the context in which they are spoken. There are some types of deixis according to George Yule. The first is person deixis. Person deixis is a linguistic term used to refer to the grammatical and semantic means by which language indicates the role of participants in a speech event. According to George Yule, renowned linguist, person deixis is an important aspect of language that allows speakers to refer to themselves, the addresses, and other individuals or groups involved in the conversation. It involves the use of personal pronouns, verb forms, and other linguistic markers to indicate the perspective or position of the speaker. Number two is spatial deixis. Spatial deixis, as defined by George Yule, refer to the use of language to refer to spatial relationships between objects or locations. It involves the use of deixis expressions that rely on the speaker's listener perspective and the physical context of the communication. Deixis refer to the phenomenon where the meaning of certain words or phrases depends on the context in which they are used. Number 3. Temporal deixis refers to the linguistic phenomenon where the interpretation of a word or phrase related into time depends on the moment of utterance. Temporal deixis is a type of deixis which is the way language uses contextual information to refer to entities or events. And next is, according to Levinson 2004, deixis is a multimodal phenomenon that involves not only linguistic expressions but also gestures, gaze, and other nonverbal cues that establish differential relationship. It is supported by Levinson 1983, defining the deixis into 5 types. They are person deixis, place deixis, time deixis, social deixis, and discourse deixis. Number 1 is person deixis. According to Yule 1996, person deixis currently operates on a basic 3-part division, exemplified by pronouns for first person I, second person you, and third person is he, she, and it. Person deixis involve the speaker I and the address you. In conversation, each person constantly changes from being I to being you. The choice of one of these forms instead of another. Because of the surrounding social circumstance is sometimes described as social deixis. Number 2 is place deixis. According to Levinson 1983, place or space deixis concern the specification of location relative to anchorage in the speech event. The importance of location specification in general can be gauged from the fact that there seem to be 2 basic ways of referring in objects, by describing or naming them on the one hand and locating them on the other. Number 3 is time deixis, can also be called as temporal deixis. According to Cruz 2000, temporal deixis function to locate point or interval on the time axis, using the moment of utterance as a reference point. There are 3 major divisions of the axis. They are: the first, before the moment of utterance; the second, at the time of utterance; and third, after the time of utterance. Number 4 is social deixis. According to Levinson 1983, social deixis concern that aspect of sentence which reflect or establish or are determined by certain realities of the social situation in which the speech act occurs. And the last is number 5, discourse deixis. Discourse deixis or text deixis concern the use of expression within some expression that utterance refer to some portion of the discourse that contains that utterance, including the utterance itself. According to Levinson 2000. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.